Hi, Mark Orwoll is at it again. Today I'm going to open up a door to a new destination for you. Come on back.
Let the swing begin. Mark Orwoll is at it again, and that cat is swinging. Yeah, that cat is swinging. The party don't stop when Mark's in the spin.
All right, cherry alcohol. Cherry farmers who don't believe in climate change while at the same time relying strongly on climate. Cheesemongers who speak only with exclamation points. Swedish restaurateurs who place goats on the roof every morning. Squeaky curds. Yes, it's Door County Peninsula, jutting out from Green Bay, Wisconsin, just like Yes, it's Door County Peninsula, and let's just leave it at that. What does all this say to you? 2 words. Vacation time. I had my first cheese curds at Wild Tomato in Sister Bay. You remember curds from Little Miss Muffet sitting on her tuffet? Here's how to eat them. 1. Get really drunk. 2. Stuff your face with cheese curds. Fresh cheese curds squeak, said my friend Kate from Texas, who was in my small group of journalists touring the peninsula. What does someone from Texas know about cheese curds? I asked. Turns out she'd had some earlier that afternoon. The freshest ones squeak, said Pam, another of my traveling companions. It seemed like they were ganging up on me now. Cheese curds do indeed squeak. But still, they just tasted like fresh cheese. But springier, said Kate. Ephraim, pronounced Ephraim, is a pretty summer colony on Green Bay. At Wilson's Soda Fountain from the 1940s, you can still play music on a tabletop jukebox for a nickel per song. Unfortunately, the songs have not yet been updated, so your choices are limited to Memphis Minnie and Cootie Williams. The town was a popular 19th century summer getaway for heat-weary Chicagoans. Yachters would sail here and write their names on the side of the port building at Anderson Dock to let others in town know that they'd arrived. The tradition continued to grow, and today, virtually the entire one-story 1880s-era building is covered in graffiti. Anyone's free to add their names, so every year there's less and less space. Pro tip. Mostly up by the rafters. You must bring your own paints and ladder, and it's all at your own risk. Pro tip, don't do it. The building is on the National Register of Historic Places, and you probably won't be surprised to know that the historic plaque near the front door is, yes, covered in graffiti. The most famous restaurant on the Door Peninsula, quite likely Al Johnson's, considering that it has been in business since 1949, owned and operated by the same family for more than 75 years. This Scandinavian restaurant is devoted to the cuisine and culture of Sweden, and to an extent, Norway, thanks to its founder, Al Johnson, and his future wife, Ingert, a native of Sweden. Over the years, the Johnsons grew the menu, along with their customers' waistlines, to include, and I'm going to add expected additional customer weight to each of these dishes, super thin, crepe-like Swedish pancakes drenched in butter and topped with lingonberry jam, 3 pounds. Juicy Swedish meatballs dripping with gravy, 5.5 pounds. A plate of pickled beets and pickled herring, 2 pounds. goat feed granola. Unknown weight gain. No customer has been brave enough to order it yet. Al refashioned the building into a charming Swedish log cabin lodge, complete with a grassy sod roof staffed by a fleet of goats, which have guarded the rooftop overlooking the bay since 1973, while the customers below nosh on Havarti cheese and pickled beets sandwiches, 3.6 pounds. The goats munch on the grass roof. But nothing is more important than Al Johnson's stabur, which is Swedish for place to get blotto while watching goats. The restaurant's beer garden is what it is, basically. I asked the bartender for something I could only get in Sweden. He nodded solemnly and made me a Thor's hammer, which, and I am not making this up, is a bite of pickled herring followed by a shot of fiery aquavit, or aquavit. The herring comes from Norway, then is hand-cut and pickled here, said the bartender. It's rinsed 8 times in the pickling solution, and it tastes like it. Dale Sequist's Swedish father came to America and bought 700 cherry trees to plant in Door County. His success in the 1930s and 40s inspired others to plant cherries. By the 1950s, said Dale, there were 730 cherry growers on the peninsula. We became known as Cherryland, USA, Dale said. Then the government regulations just destroyed the industry. Now, most of the growers are gone. Today, we produce 96% of the cherries from Wisconsin. Sequist makes hundreds of different products. Cherry almond syrup, cherry lavender syrup, cherry oatmeal muffins, cherry flavored fudge, hot cherry salsa, cherry blueberry jam, Bing cherry jam, bags of dried tart cherries, and other cherry products ranging from the commonplace to the out-and-out disturbing, like cherry honey mustard, cherry horseradish, cherry balsamic barbecued grilling sauce. There's more, but I just can't go on. Dale Sequist doesn't believe in climate change. Quote, my trees have no political agenda. All they do is tell you the truth. Last year, we planted 15,000 trees, and they're all doing fine. At this point, we all looked at the ceiling and pretended not to listen. Cheese Masters opened its doors in 2010, offering as many as 66 cheeses at any given time. You can sample any of them, except for the Limburger, which apparently leaves you with such bad breath you won't be able to go out in public for 3 or 4 days. Quote, this state is all about cheese, said counterman Al Feldman, who has been with Cheese Masters nearly since the beginning. As he made suggestions and offered bits of cheese on platters, he made such random comments as, air is the enemy of cheese, and all cheese should be eaten at room temperature. His every utterance seemed to end with exclamatory finality. I find the customers very willing to try new things, he said, glowering at me as if I had just accused him of the opposite. People come in here because they want to learn. Feldman shoved a plate of small cheese chunks toward me. It's onion and Gouda, he said. Tell me what it tastes like. I took a chunk and chewed it slowly. I recognized the taste. It was literally on the tip of my tongue. Feldman waited for me, but got frustrated when I didn't answer quickly enough. Cheeseburger! It tastes like cheeseburger! I immediately wanted to buy a ½ pound to bring home, but I wasn't sure I could pack it in a suitcase. Don't worry, said Feldman. All packaged cheese is good for at least 24 hours. without refrigeration. After all that, I headed over to Door Peninsula Winery and Distillery to quiet the taste of cheeseburger still on my tongue. No better drink to do that, of course, than cherry mimosa cider, blended from apples and Montmorency cherries. It's Door County in a glass, said Beth Lewandowski, the winery's marketing director. Nope, I could still taste the cheeseburger. So I tried the cherry vodka. The fruit flavor pops through loud and clear. The cherry brandy. The fruit taste is present, but not overwhelming. And finally, the cherry moonshine. A bit of cherry-driven astringency and the gentle fruit flavor without being sweet. A description that I probably cribbed directly from the drinks menu. My bartender, Jane, was surprised that I thought the moonshine wasn't very fruit-forward. "It may be your palate," she said, eyeing me and my palate dubiously. "I think it has the most fruit flavor." And with that, I had no other choice but to push my glass forward and say, "I guess the only way to resolve this conundrum, Jane, is for you to pour me another." I'm Mark Orwoll. I've been at it again. Come back next week. We'll talk about something completely different. Mwah!
Let the swing begin. Mark Orwoll is at it again, and that cat is swinging. Yeah, that cat is swinging. The party don't stop when Mark's in the spin.